Welcome back, guys. This is Lindsay with Garage Reviews. Today we are going to talk about 3 products by Kensui that you might not know about. Now, they do have some popular products that I'm sure you have heard about, especially if you follow GGR with Coop. I mean, he has picked the weighted vest by Kensui as one of the top weighted vests in his opinion, and I honestly have to agree. I mean, you can add as little or as much weight to that vest, within reason. And it's just so different than any other weighted vest. But I do want to talk about 3 other products. The first one being this Easy Curl Bar. Second one being a pivot landmine. And then the third one being a neck trainer. Full disclosure, I don't use a neck trainer. I don't think you can tell because I'm so massive, but it was fun to test out and use. If you want to purchase any of the products that we talk about today, we have placed a link below the like button. When you use that link, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and we really appreciate it when you use that. Also, make sure you are subscribed to this channel to continue seeing videos just like this one. And lastly, Kensui did send us some of these products, although this is a transparent review. If you continue watching, you will see that. But I do want to start with the Easy Curl Bar. Now, the first thing I want to say is this is a rackable curl bar. That's a little bit different than what we see with other curl bars. Rogue doesn't have a rackable curl bar. Titan Fitness doesn't have a rackable curl bar. So if you are doing any sort of supersets, let's say you are doing skull crushers and close grip bench, this is a really good tool to use because it is rackable. Now, the Easy Curl Bar does weigh 35 pounds, so it's a little bit different in weight in terms of an Easy Curl Bar that we see with other companies. With this Easy Curl Bar, it does have an interesting knurling pattern. So with typical Easy Curl Bars, you do have sections of knurling, not with this. So you actually can see that this is knurled almost the entire way, allowing you to use a close grip, a neutral, or a wide grip on a lot of different movements. So if you are wanting to do wide grip bicep curls, close grip skull crushers, you do have the ability to do that. Now, this is kind of an aggressive knurling, in my opinion, for an Easy Curl Bar. I was a little bit surprised by that, and we did use a macro lens to try and really nail down the knurling pattern on this. I'm going to go with Volcano, although it's not clear on the website, and it does look a little bit different than typical volcanoes that we see, and honestly, it is a little bit more aggressive. But I actually found that I really liked the feel of it. On their website, it says that this isn't just a typical curl bar. So it does say that you can go ahead and do strict press. You can go ahead and do front squat. You can go ahead and do back squat. I actually disagree with that. And that's kind of my first call out. I think that this bar is so good for things like bicep curls, tricep extensions, skull crushers, maybe even some overhead pressing. However, when I went ahead and started using it with a front squat or a back squat, I just couldn't get the bar into a comfortable position. When I was using it in a front squat position, typically, I really like the bar to almost rest on my traps and my front shoulders, and I just couldn't get it to line up comfortably. When I'm doing it with just the bar, so let's say I'm just front squatting 35 pounds, it's not that big of a deal. But as you begin to load up the weight, this knurling on this corner really started to eat into my shoulders, just making it really uncomfortable. I couldn't get a good front rack position on it. And so for me, if I'm going to go heavy, I'm definitely not reaching for this bar. I get that they're trying to make it more of a multi-purpose bar. However, I just don't think it meets the mark on that. And then same with back squat. I would say I have less complaints about using it on a back squat than I do about a front squat because this part of the bar sat really comfortable on my back, almost mimicking a low bar back squat. However, it doesn't have any center knurling. So if you are wanting to go super heavy, sometimes that center knurling is really important. So for that reason, it just wasn't my favorite. Could I use it for overhead press? Yes. It wasn't my favorite, but I didn't have any major complaints or call-outs to that movement. Now, on their website, they say that this design is actually going to help minimize wrist strain. I would absolutely say that's accurate. When I was using it for things like a bicep curl or a skull crush, I felt completely comfortable using it. Even on close grip bench, I was using it and my wrist felt really stable and it felt like there was less strain in that position than what I would typically feel with a standard straight across barbell. This bar is $199 and you have a 100-day trial to test it out. If you don't like it, you can go ahead and send it back for a complete refund. Overall, here are my thoughts. I do think it's probably one of the better Easy Curl bars that I've used, and if you like using Easy Curl bars, then I say absolutely get this, although I wouldn't say that it is as good as the website claims in terms of overall movements, right? So I'm going to use it for a very specific thing. I'm probably not going to use it for any sort of squatting. And I think that one of the reasons I do like this is because of the curvature pattern and how it feels so comfortable while I'm using it. And then also more of the knurling throughout the bar, especially when we compare it to other bars out there like this one. Let's talk about the Pivot Landmine. Obviously, this is also a Kensui product. And really, I did like it. I kind of have mixed thoughts about it only because of the price point. Okay, this is $27.95. That feels pretty significant in terms of price, especially when you consider that a tennis ball is around $5 from Walmart. And you can go ahead and just DIY cutting slits into the tennis ball to make your own sort of landmine attachment, stick it in a corner, and it would be fine. I will say that this did add a little bit of sturdiness, a little bit of stability as I was doing landmine movements. So as I'm doing meadow rows, as I'm doing hack squats, I wasn't ever afraid that the tennis ball and the bar was going to kind of like shift out of the corner part because of this piece right here. This definitely keeps it more secure. Essentially, I mean, you have a tennis ball, and then the real selling point to this is obviously this pivot part that sticks into a corner. I felt really secure using it. I was really comfortable doing all of the movements. Again, my biggest call out is that this is $27. And there are a lot of people who can go ahead and just use a tennis ball for around $5, DIY it themselves. You would feel about 95% secure just using a tennis ball versus, 100% secure using like this added structure. So really, it's just kind of a question. Do you want to feel that 100% security using this for close to that $30 mark? Or are you okay feeling maybe just slightly less stable? And I am talking slightly less stable on movements, only using like a $5 tennis ball. I would say one difference between typical landmine products is that this is not rackable. You don't have to have a squat rack in order to use this. So I definitely see this for somebody who is just starting out their home gym. They don't have a squat rack. They don't have things to attach to their squat rack, right? Maybe you're just building it up and you've noticed that any sort of exercises doing a landmine, meadow row, hack squat, RDL are obviously going to be super beneficial to you as you are working out. Maybe you have a small space. So for that case, I say go ahead and get this. I think that makes sense. But for those of us who already have a squat rack and can go ahead and find an attachment to that squat rack and do any sort of landmine movements, I don't know if I would buy this. All right, so this is the Easy Neck by Kensui. Obviously, I have not trained my neck, although after reading about a lot of the benefits that comes with neck training, I'm surprised that I haven't implemented it into my routine because it really is such a beneficial thing that we can be doing, especially if you have like a kid in sports or you are playing sports with any sort of impact. Training your neck actually help reduce the risk of concussions as well as a lot of other benefits to it. So this is definitely different from other neck trainers that I have seen. Like we've all seen the iron neck that like wraps around, it inflates. It's like a full-on headpiece. This is not the case with this neck trainer. So it's a couple different things that I really like about it. One, it has these knurling handles. I wouldn't say that they are knurling, but I would say that they are trying. And I definitely think that is like helpful when you are using this because obviously this is the only way this is attaching to your neck. So you want to be sure that you have a good grip on these handles. The other thing that I really like about this is how easy it is to change the weight on it. So it's just this like collar system. Go ahead, take this off, put your weight on, and then go ahead and just like spin this back on. So super easy to change weight while you're using it. The other thing that I do like is that you can go ahead and use this with standard plates or go ahead and use this with Olympic plates. One call out that I do have to that is that you actually have to buy a different sort of attachment in order to use the standard 1-inch plates, but it's not hard to change out. So all you're going to do is go ahead and take off this piece of padding, which actually feels really comfortable while you're using it, and then loosen this piece, put on your other attachment, and then retighten it. So overall, really easy to use. I would say I wish that they just went ahead and offered the 1-inch attachment. So if you did have standard 1-inch plates, you can go ahead and just interchange them really easily, and you didn't have to spend the extra money in order to do that. In terms of the movements that you can do using this product, I mean, you can hit the front of the neck, the back of the neck, the side of the neck, just depending on where you want to place it. So obviously you can put it here, do the front, you can put it here, do the back, obviously side to side. All of this is explained on their website, but overall, I mean, I do feel like you could do a lot of variety of movements using just this. Now, this does come with a max weight capacity of 200 pounds. that honestly feels excessive. Obviously, I'm not somebody who is training my neck, but if you are loading up 200 pounds in order to train your neck, I mean, you just must be massive. And that's amazing. I will say that the benefit to that is the structure of this piece. The reason why it's able to load up so much weight is because it really is a sturdy piece of equipment. It is actually made from a nylon fiberglass composite, making it really durable and, again, really sturdy. And even though it is really durable and you can have that max weight capacity of 200 pounds, I will still say, obviously I wasn't loading up 200 pounds, okay? But I will still say that this sort of padding, it's about a 1-inch padding, felt really comfortable while I was using it. Obviously, this is different than a typical neck trainer, so if you have any sort of questions or wondering what to do and how to train, on the Kensui website, they go ahead and walk you through different movements that you can do using this neck trainer. So definitely, if you're going to purchase this, check that out because he had a lot of good tips, a lot of different movements that you could go ahead and follow along with. Now, the cost of this neck trainer is $49.95. And honestly, that is probably cheaper than a lot of other neck trainers that we see. I mean, when you look at the Iron Neck, that's like $247. There is a vast price difference in something like this versus something like that. And really, I do think they function the same. It really just depends on what you're more comfortable using. Now, there are neck trainers on Amazon for around $17 that you can go ahead and use. Obviously, I haven't used those. I haven't tested those out. But I would say that this is a good middle ground. Like, let's say you got into it, you got an Amazon one, and maybe you just want to advance your neck training equipment. I think this is a good next option. I mean, $47, I felt like it functioned really well. It has a really good weight capacity. It was really comfortable. And overall, I was able to do all the movements on it easily that the Kensui website showed me. All right, those are my thoughts on the Kensui products. Let me know if you checked out their website. Are there other products that you want us to review? Have you used any of the products we talked about today? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Lindsay with Garage Door Reviews. Peace.